welcome to the TMC Newsroom. My name is Rich Tehrani. Thanks for watching us. We are coming to you from Interop 2011 in Las Vegas. On our program today is Brett Galloway. He's the SVP of Wireless Security and Routing Technology at Cisco. How are you, Brett?
I'm fine, thanks.
So I was hoping to talk with you about lots of exciting things. I mean, you sit kind of in the middle of all these really exciting technologies. Out of the three areas that you're focusing on, if not more, within Cisco, what are some of the more exciting ones?
Well, you can't pass over wireless, of course. You have an iPad here in your lap.
I do.
Which down. Is we're seeing is actually driving huge adoption of wireless LAN. I've been working in the wireless LAN business for a long while. I actually came to Cisco by an acquisition, but the last year and a half, really with sort of the combination of the 82.11n upgrade cycle as well as the huge use of people bringing wireless LAN enabled devices and smart devices is driving enormous levels of increase in wireless LAN adoption. And not just in the enterprise. We're seeing a similar transition in service providers. Historically, service providers didn't pay that much attention to wireless LAN or actually even viewed it as competitive with a cellular network. Today, no more. Right now, wireless LAN is really being viewed as a key part of the architecture to actually help offload traffic from the macro cellular network. So in terms of big trends, what other trends are we seeing in this space? Well, one is clearly, as I said, sort of this move to sort of bring your own device. And the companion trend that we see is really what's going on with data center and build out in cloud. We're here at Interop, and obviously a lot of stuff in the air around cloud. But the ability to leverage virtualization technologies to rethink how you construct application delivery systems in data centers is just enormous. And certainly at Cisco, we have a very, very compelling architecture around data center virtualization. But the other area that's just really exciting there is what we're doing in security. Because of course between what's going on in mobility and what's going on in cloud and data center, you're seeing a complete disruption in the traditional security architecture.
Now, I had a chance to talk with you last night just about how the hackers have gotten to a point where they're getting smarter and smarter, more brazen, and less afraid of getting caught. I mean, they're attacking from areas of the world that may not have laws that prosecute to the level that we might in the US. And so the challenge is not going away. Now
correct. Yeah, if anything, the challenge is getting much worse. We have the number of attacks is going up, like 40 or 50% year on year. At the same time, the attacks are getting much more sophisticated. Right, as you say, we're seeing much more targeted attacks. We're seeing much more stealthy attacks. It's harder to know that even somebody has really penetrated you or compromised your environment. And from and this is a very, very hard problem. And from a Cisco perspective, where we can be most helpful is to really use the network as a platform for visibility and control. Our customers connect all their applications to the network, all their devices hook up to it, and so our focus is to make sure we really position that network platform so they can have better visibility of what's going on and better enforcement of what they don't want to have happen. And this is something that very much resonates with our customers. We announced this actually at the RSA show a couple months ago. We announced it was our SecureX architecture. But the heart of it's pretty simple, right? It's this notion of the network for visibility and control, and then the companion notion that the network provides context that is very helpful to help make security decisions. Location context, identity context, as well as application awareness context. All things that are very, very difficult to do without network awareness.
Now, network awareness sounds to me like also a potent differentiator in terms of why you would want customers to purchase from your company. Is that accurate?
Yeah, certainly. We think it delivers a lot of value. One of the things that we're actually introducing is our identity services engine, which is a key part of that, sort of the context portion of our SecureX architecture. And what we're doing with the identity service engine is we're bringing to bear sort of the traditional NAC use cases, network and mission control. We're adding context to that, and then we're making available a very, very rich session directory so that our customers get policy-controlled access to the network, and then they get visibility into what's connecting to the network, and do that all in a scalable architecture. This is something that internally we're very, very excited about, and the level of customer interest is very high, and a great proof point of the overall SecureX architecture. And and a very, very significant opportunity for us to help people understand why having an intelligent network is important.
Now, you had a keynote today. What did you talk about?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Rebecca Jacoby and I spoke. Rebecca is our CIO, and is able to bring a great practitioner perspective to what is often sometimes just a discussion about products. So we talked about three things. Rebecca actually talked about Cisco's use of our data center and virtualization architecture to drive the use of private cloud at Cisco. And that's been a huge journey, and it's driven actually enormous benefits for Cisco as an IT organization. Major improvements in agility, significant improvements in performance, as well as very, very high levels of reliability. So that's a very, very exciting story, and obviously very credible when it comes from Rebecca. Then we talked actually about, not about the product, but around a set of use cases that are enabled by the Identity Service Engine. So policy-based control, providing secure, seamless user access. And we actually took some examples from a healthcare setting. And then actually we talked about video. And we've been very active at Cisco about video, of course, for some time. We've been very active about video collaboration. We've talked about our telepresence offer. We acquired Tandberg, and that's actually driving enormous growth in video as a collaboration technology. We didn't talk about that today. What we talked about was video as a way to transform how our customers sell. And we actually a great case study that Rebecca talked about, where a large financial services company actually put immersive video conferencing in their retail branches. And the use case there is tele-expert. The problem is, I walk into your branch and I want to buy something. And you probably have the same experience I have, right? You wait forever for somebody to show up,
Sure.
and they don't know anything about the product they're selling.
Absolutely.
And more often than not, you walk out without buying anything. So what they've been
Upset.
annoyed. And of course, the bank's not too happy either because they missed a sale. So what they've been able to do is they've been able to go from a 30% attach rate on those walk-ins to 70%, at double the return per transaction. I mean, this is headline returns.
It's great.
Right? In terms of business impact. And they're estimating a 78 times ROI, right? And this is a massive deal, right? I mean, it's putting in, telepresence technologies in all the branches, obviously network upgrades, because this is a much, much higher network load than what they had before. So very, very, very large project using lots of Cisco technologies, not just, the endpoint technologies, but our MediaNet technologies to make this stuff really deployable at scale. But even at that, unbelievable payoff. So that was the third thing we talked about in the keynote.
So recently your company decided to end its consumer division. And I'm curious, does that, and I hopefully I said that accurately, I know that a lot of the consumer products were discontinued, spun off, not all of them I guess. But the question is, how does that affect enterprise buyers, if at all?
So, so the thing we announced is we actually ended our Flip video camera business. The impact on our enterprise business is really not much. Enterprise customers are obviously very focused on what we can bring to help solve their problems. Clearly, this doesn't mean that video is less important, right? I mean, the example of the keynote we had this morning, video is even more important. We've been able to drive, a constellation of actually other technologies around video. We're doing show and share. We're doing it with Quad, right, to make video more useful. Even sort of record and replay. I'm not sure the enterprise customers really needed a video camera, right? What they need is an architecture to make video really useful, and that's what we're focused on from an enterprise perspective.
Now, the future for Cisco, if I could just give you some closing comments, like what's next, what's coming?
Well, I'm really excited. I think we talk about these transitions. Cisco is uniquely well positioned to help our customers capitalize on these major transitions for their own business benefit, right? Video, cloud, mobility, what we're doing, clearly with collaboration are all lined up with things that are top of mind for our customers. Being able to solve those problems with an architectural approach is something we rolled out with the introduction of the 3 major sub-architectures 2 years ago. I think is perfectly in line with what customers need. Where you will continue to see Cisco move is obviously continued innovation at the product level, continued innovation at the level of those architectures, but then innovation across the architectures as well, as we drive meaningful connections across them. The use case I described leverages technologies across all 3 architectures and across many product sets to realize that use case. And you will continue to see us do more and more of that. The company's priority at the end is to make our customers successful, and I think we are very, very well positioned to continue to be able to do that.
Great, thanks for being on the program.
And thank you for having me.
Great to see you.
Thanks, bye-bye.